All right, we're just going to rip the bandage off right now by starting with an audio test. This is entirely untested so far, so am I a little too strong, a little too weak in the sound department? How are we doing? I'll hold off on too much audio right away, just in case I am blaring everybody's ears out, till we have a little bit of confirmation. Sounds good. You think that is great. That is at least a good starting point. We'll adjust things if we need to. Welcome, welcome, Wizard Builds, Twisted Mod Works, and Alexander. Sounds good. A bit low. Let me just adjust the mic here. Like that. Is that any kind of improvement? Well, here is the situation, fellas, and, well, presumably fellas. I mean the collective fella that we all are. I am flying solo today. Mystic One, hello, hello. Perfect, excellent, good to know. All right, flying solo today because the dear wizard, as we know, was on a quest last week and became ill, stricken by a bitter rival wizard or something like that. So he is under the radar this time. If he happens to be awake, he might pop into the chat. I'm not counting on it. He should be resting. So, we're going to do things. This is so much less techy because it's me. Usually, and it'll become even more evident as the evening progresses, that all of the technical wizardry is the wizard's himself. So, this is going to feel very much like the clunkiness of last year's event coverage and things like that, and it's weird sitting in a room talking to myself again. So that's a bit of an adjustment. I don't have anybody to riff off of or anything like that. So we usually wait about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how things go, for people to roll in. But honestly, we're just gonna dive right in. So we skipped last week, just because of his scheduling issue, and there wasn't a whole lot of progress made. But once you add another, 50% of time, another week into that mix, there's actually quite a bit of progress made. So we will drop this dude out of the way, open right into the Discord MERGEMASTERS channel thing, and we'll get rolling right away. So we are in the Discord. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the MERGEMASTERS Discord is, there's a link in the video description, so go ahead and join if you have the vaguest of interests. But from what I'm seeing, everybody who's currently watching is already, or at least everybody who's chatting, is already in the Discord to begin with. So, I assume that the image is popping up. My stream software, which I had a difficult time getting working again, says that this is what we should be looking at. If this is not what we're looking at, then please let me know. We'll jump right into the most recent today, 14 hours ago. I have not even seen this myself yet. This is Vile Mods, his little Chronos Venom Pro Mandalorian combination. Let's go back to, I'm going to go back in time to March 1st. Yeah, sure, that's pretty good. Can't remember if we covered this part. The last stream, I think, was actually the 2nd. So this is, you know what, close enough, close enough. And this will let us, oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. This is actually going to work out fine. Not fine, but doable, which is really close enough. The Mandalorian base. I assume you can see my little cursor. If you can't see my cursor, then I'm just going to keep pointing at the screen with my finger the way I've been pointing, because that's of course been really effective as well. We do have the Mandalorian rifle taking up the bulk of the personality, I guess, of the blaster. Venom Pro doing the functional work, trimming the magwell out. Looks like he's just mostly blending pieces in, covering up kind of that jam door area a little bit, and starting to shape things up with the little stock area. I guess, stock attachment area. A little bit of blending there. Really believe we covered this last time, but it's been a while, and for those of you who have not been paying attention, this is all new stuff. So allegedly, everybody's first, or any show is somebody's first show. So we'll just keep plugging away. Yes, that little filler piece in the middle with the little iron sight attached to it. I'm certain we covered this already, but that's fine. Good looking little pistol. Good looking little pistol. Okay, let's close out. Good. Down to, there we go. And crap, he mentioned what this filler piece was. Oh, this is the front of a Aeon Pro? Yeah, that's what it was. Or maybe it was the Nexus. I think they're the same, honestly. I'm peering over the monitor onto the back wall, and I have one of each on the wall, and they look pretty much the same. So yeah, little, Nexus Aeon, kind of in front of the magwell area that kind of creates this cool little ribbed detail that fills in that, I guess it was a jam door area. But a nice, convincing little detail. Trimming the little bit of the Chronos grip around the trigger well of the Venom Pro. Or not the Venom Pro, the Mandalorian rifle. Just trying to get the two shells to mate together a little bit before adding some of the final filler stuff. Looking good. Nice attention to detail. And starting a little bit of the filling process right there. And this is my work I'd like to finish. Boy, don't we all have some of that. Good grief, I have a whole wall and several totes full of those. Clever little illustration. Okay, now we're getting into some of the slightly newer, because I don't think we've covered this. Really starting to get the texture details and stuff, and some of the greebling and whatnot all a little bit more uniform everywhere. Looks like he's trying to prep for some more final body work and everything. Looking good, looking good. That's actually kind of a cool texture. I assume that's probably 80 grit, if I'm just guessing. But it does add kind of a nice weird grain to it. Weird. Obviously not what he's going for. He's just getting the the surface all prepped and everything. But that is kind of a nice side effect. A little end cap on there. Cleans that up. He had a stock attachment point in there before. I wonder if he's filling that in. See, we are doing this live right now. This is I'm presenting myself with questions I don't have answers to. But that does really dress up the back of the blaster there. That just kind of boxes that in nice. Very nice, very nice. There again, just more of the same. Oh no, that's cool. The piece is still removable. I don't know if that's going to be a feature or is this, I reckon that's probably battery door. It's a nice area filled in there. Looks like he's got some sheet styrene or ABS or something in there to box that in. And that's a clever idea. That's a clever idea. I like that. More of the same, more of the same. Ah, there we are. Very good, very good. Some little side plates to kind of help fill in some of the irregularities of the shell matching. And I believe we're done with that little group. Scroll down to, and the messy work starts. It's just all filling in gaps and imperfections and trying to blend everybody in. This is the this is when the fun work starts. Ooh, that area came out really nice. The merging of the trigger to the Chronos grip and all that. And a lots of little gaps to fill and little lines to blend. I wish I had music to play, but I was really, honestly, down to the wire getting my streaming software up and running again. I really took for granted that Caster handled all this stuff on his end, as far as we just basically chatted through the Discord, and he handled pretty much everything else. And I realized when I tried to set things up that I did not have my mic set up to the computer and through the streaming software, and so I was struggling to get that figured out and get it to communicate with YouTube again, so that's why I haven't even had a chance to figure out how to make music play. So imagine your favorite songs playing in the back. That'll help. Nice little detail work in there. Nope, were we done? I don't think we were done there. There we go, a little bit more blending in that. Getting that side plate put in there. Same on the other side. I don't know why, but that box, this whole I guess battery door, essentially the battery case. I'm not sure what it is about some of the shapes, but they just really seem to jive well together. Especially for being the very, very blocky Chronos bit, and then the slightly more curved and have a few more details and fillets and stuff of the crap. I can't remember what it's called. The later rival pistol-y thing that the top end's made out of, but just a nice merger of the two parts. Okay, that's all done there. He did go for a modified trigger to make everything work together, but that of course qualifies under the internals part of things. That's some nice work. A little A/B comparison there. Okay. This is the today stuff. Man, that's a lot of little details to work around. This is where you really want to have like needle files, maybe some flexi files. The oh crap, I can't remember what they call them. Some of the finer scale modeling tools and stuff to get into those little nooks and crannies and little spots like that. So still got his work cut out for him for sure. So everything's still streaming all right. Audio still sound okay. We are still getting an image. Everybody's still hanging in there all right. I'm a bit paranoid just because it's been a while since I flew solo on a stream like this and did not do enough preparation beforehand. But I assume if things locked up, then somebody will be popping in saying, hey, something went wrong, something got quiet. How come your mic died again? Because that happens every third stream. And a little bit more blending around the magwell area. Oh, I hadn't really noticed that little drop-down detail before. I don't know if that was added or if that was just some clever cutting, but that little kind of a little dog leg line there, that's kind of a nice little touch. Not absolutely necessary, but definitely appreciated. And thank you, Twisted Modworks, for the confirmation. Everything is still rolling along. Ever more blending, oh, hey. This, I don't recall this little detail on the front. That feels, why does that feel super soakery for some reason? Actually, it's probably not. I think I probably just haven't seen this side of the blaster for a while. Huh, cool little detail. Has little knurled lines on there. That's kind of a cute little addition. More blending, more blending, more blending. More filling, more filling. Yeah, we saw this. And that is, nope. Got that wrong. Come here. Thank you. Yeah, just getting those blended together. Very nice. Well, cool, and that's where we are so far. Coming along pretty good. Definitely stands a good chance to get completed this year, which is really too bad. And anybody who remembers last year's Merge Masters, Vile did that Rebel rifle-y thing, like kind of a rebel sniper thing that was super cool. I really hope he gets a chance to finish that sometime. But I reckon we ought to stop giving him other projects to work on here. So, excellent. Next on the list is Megatalon Whip Blast. And this is Twisted Modworks, who is still in chat. Hello. Actually, that's right. That was just a couple of days ago. Okay, brand new entrant, twice entrant into MERGEMASTERS this year. This is his second build. To remind you, it's only been 3 weeks since we last talked, and he already popped in, built one, and has started another one. So that's how fast some of these things can go. I wish I had that kind of drive and motivation and focus and anything. But here we got, gosh, it was the Whip Blast. We got more pieces of the Sita, which we will see in his other build. The, yeah, I got the Talon, or yeah. Was it just the Talon? I thought it was the Talon Strike. It was really hard to keep up with Nerf's naming conventions back then. Hammer Shot, Chronos Bits, a couple of magazines, Recon Slide, Knockout, Lucida, looks like a Spectre and a Modulus, oh, I could, hey, why don't you show off bigger pictures, good job. Interesting assortment of parts. And click, there we go. That's kind of an interesting profile already. Just right out of the gate, using the little bit of the Chronos on top of the Talon. Getting a little bit of a sweepy line across the bottom. Almost looks like the... Can't remember what the heck it was called. A bigger blaster that had a similar silhouette, as I recall. Rail added to the back for the filler. Okay, I was wondering what the rail did not look nerfed to me, that little bit on the back of the blaster. Whip Blast, okay. Knockout priming handle added as well. Oh, I totally missed that. Oh, it just kind of rounds out the bottom of the grip. Nice, nice touch. Decided not to use the yellow bit. Made the grip too bulky. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. A little worker barrel insert to kind of round out the little dart holder thing on the front. Nice. And build box. Excellent. Good to get that established early into the build. And all this accomplished in the first day. Holy cow. DEFCON applied, shape's been finalized after a lot of minor changes. Cool, everything's stuck in for permanent. Talon's been modded and ready for its shell. Little naked blaster there. And already talking about paint. Man, in the course of like, what, 2 days? Jiminy Christmas. Okay, jump into Joshua Adam, the Pickle. Let's go back in time to... And right there, I believe we were at this point. Yep, I think we already saw it in paint. Gosh, that's a nice shape. Just a nice little shape. Adding color and details. Details with an E, so you know it's fancy details. And that's it's a lot of pickles. But you know what? Neither do I. Those of you watching at home that aren't full of the or aware of the full context, let's go back in time to Box of Blasters' Weird Pickle Sandwich. So the blaster was then dubbed the pickle, and this is apparently the pickle follow-up. I don't know why, but I don't even like pickles that much, but maybe it's just the giant chunk of ham in there that sounds good, but I could go for a sandwich right about now. Anyway, moving on to, this is Prickly's number 2. As you'll recall, last time we spoke, Prickly had just finished up his first build. This is the start of his second. With a Venom Pro, parts of a Magnum Super Drum, and a Flip however many. Super Drum 2, Flip 16. Other parts to be added. Got the Venom Pro with the little bit of the Super Drum kind of barrel roll detail. Grip from was it a Hot Shot? No. Is that what it's called? There's the Hot Shock. Yeah, the Hot Shock came later. That's right. Anyway. Gosh, make the pictures big. There we go. Thank you. So, Venom Pro, barrel, stock. And the grip. And Twisted Mod Works. Hoping to get back into mine tomorrow. Took a drill bit to the hand yesterday. Good grief, man. I've been there, had a drill slip, and bit goes to places where it's not supposed to, and gosh, it hurts like a son of a gun. Yeah, well, take care of yourself. Make sure that heals up nice, and yeah, don't mess with that. Both how much you got done on your last build and this one in the last 3 weeks, you could use a break anyway. Detailed little muzzle on there, and wow, the stock really just fits on top of the blaster really nice there. like size of just the scaling there is just remarkably not appropriate, but it's like wow, it's just very wow. And of course, this is the weird stock thing that has kind of a window, like you're supposed to be able to sight through it. I don't know if that's really recommended in this case. It's a bit of a disparity between your line of sight, but the profile looks cool on there. A little roundy border right there on the back. That's cool shape. Definitely not something I would have considered, but that's why I'm not building things right now, is because everybody else is coming up with better ideas anyway. But I don't need to. Rear end parts roughed out, just the structure for gluing. We'll add more shell to complete the look. Yep. Cool. And oh, is this a video? Will videos work? Can I play? I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear that or if it's like super loud. Ha! That's perfect. Ah. Oh, gosh. Whoa. That does look nice. Can I get out? Can I get out? Nope. Nope. I want to go away. There we are. Okay, stop it. Shh. Shh. Stop. Shh. Shh. But yeah, that's a good representation, good example of the build box theory. Is that the right word? But basically, it's not a two-dimensional build box. It is a three-dimensional build box, and he used the benefits of that third dimension, which is handy. DevCon up. Teasers was to come. Calling it for the night. Get big. Got the grip. That's all bonded in there, and a little foregrip action. Oh, don't get big, get out. There we go. Mag well fitted. Use some of the top and bottom side screw ports. Not good idea, good idea. Another piece fits in there real nice. Just the, happens to be just the right length to tuck in there, and, huh. Yeah, no, I've got a few ideas for Venom Pros. I'm really glad to see, was it 3? Yeah, we got three in the competition right now, and which really inspired me to take advantage of that 50% off discount they had a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting one of those on the bench and cutting it up and seeing what I can build. Yep, still technically fits. Cool. Yeah, more mock-up pictures. Everybody glued into place. Got the mag in there and everything. Everybody all glued up. And a little bit more close up in there. A little more DevCon filling in the gaps. And boom, into primer. I always like that first primer coat that really just ties all the shells together. It eliminates the bias of the different colors and textures and stuff like that, that just, you know, lets you really appreciate the silhouette, mostly, and just kind of the uniformity of the shell. And a future full of sanding. Bondo. Oh, gosh. Everybody all sanded down. Picking out the details, what to fill next. Lots more sanding. More Bondo, I think we'll skip through that. Yes, Prickly does love his primer. We believe we spoke briefly about that last time we talked. Down to the glaze, getting close. And looks like we're close to the final coat of primer or so. Coming along pretty nice. And in just a couple of days. That was the 21st last time, and what was the first, third? So yeah, about 2.5 weeks. Man, I wish I could knock blasters out this quick. Then I believe the Vulcan Shock, I believe this, yep, we discussed this last time. So we're all cut up there, on into the compact. Jump up to the next class. And man, lots of new updates in just the last couple hours. Good grief. Okay. Oh. This is Alexander. 23rd. What is the 3rd? I think that was... I think we covered this one. Yeah. Okay, gotta wait. Got a more demolisher thing. There. I do like the addition of this extra little, and I gushed about it a little bit last time as well. Just the additional shell screen, whatever you want to call it, cover, shroud around the cylinder on this. Just, I'm not sure what it does to me, but it's just I don't know. I just really is a nice, a fresh take, and I'd appreciate that. This is the opposite side, the one that pops out. And filling in and reinforcing the front support of the cylinder. More putty and stuff on the sides there. Yeah, nice little detail to kind of fill in so it closes up nice and tight on the front of the blaster. Cool. That's going to be cool. That's going to be really cool. Trigger guard piece from the strong arm is added to the right side. And is added between the shells, starting with handle scales, DevCon, right side, standard, scales, schools, filled partly, there's a little more blending there. Nice little filled in scale that, yeah, it had the silly fake wrap garbage that Nerf insists on putting on everything. That looks a whole lot cleaner. Not there, of course, but you know, you got to start somewhere. Get something like this needs to be done to the left side. Cool. Alexander, yes, my fancy is quite tickled. Now, it's good looking detail in front, but it is chipping like crazy. Oh, is that, what are you using? Are you using a, like a epoxy sculpt, or are you using more of a real epoxy putty, like a Odie's Fix-It stick, or whatever the Swedish equivalent is? Either way, that is what we're looking at here. It's nice. I don't think we've seen a real directly from the front picture of this blaster yet. So it's kind of cool to see that these little cylinder covers in context. Read what I wrote before this pick. Trigger guard piece from the strong arms added to the right side and is filling the gap between shells. Also started working on the handle scales. Best way to fill where the rubber wrap is was with DEFCON. Right side's been sanded, needs more filling on the left scale. Sickle is filled partly, but need to more before I can... Oh, up there. Front left cover still needs work. Gonna sand it flush, have the strong arm slide side eat it up on its side as a protruding part didn't hold it. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. That guy. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, I think I'm up to speed. Next, putty resin, putty by Green Stuff World. I've heard good things about Green Stuff, but maybe it's just not up to the task for this exact purpose. So, we'll jump into the gauntlet by everybody's... Is this Wizard? Is that you? Gosh, I'm getting names all mixed up, and the stream software's truncating everybody's names. Hang on. Stand by. Yep, Wizard 207. Okay. There we are. So, let's go back to... I think we discussed the little doodles and stuff last time, so that puts us right where we're at. Nice little sketches. Oh. Wait a second. Okay, gotta make a little note here. The in the past, you know, when you have a rapid strike that you need to be really, really small, you just hack the front off and call it a day. I built one like that. Seen, you know, dozens built like that. Even though this is more of a designed for a gauntlet, and it's probably more of a focus on utility instead of style. I like the fact that you took just the very front of the rapid strike part, just enough to give a nice finished edge and some little greebly details and whatnot. You know, just a few little teeth there to kind of round off the front of the blaster to make it more of a condensed shell instead of a chopped off shell. So a nice little detail. I appreciate. Most of the putty work done around the battery tray. Along with that, made some progress on the foam armor. Retaliator slide will be used for some detail. That is a strong arm slide. Oh, over there. Okay. I assumed you knew what you're talking about, but I was a bit thrown off. That's nice, though. Actually fits in there really nice. That little area there over, aside the pusher. Mag release. Alexander coming in with a correction. No, not Green Stuff. Green Stuff World is a brand. So Green Stuff World does not create green stuff, or it is just a different not green stuff product by the same company. I am not that familiar with the Swedish products. This guy here. And Wizard Builds, okay, that is you, okay. So, gosh, it's hard to keep names straight. I'm sorry, man. There we are. There's the Retaliator slide. Oh, it actually does look kind of cool on that your little armor bits there. Now we have a rapid strike, but on the gauntlet thing. But we got mega darts up here. Is there going to be some extra features that I'm unaware of? Things to look forward to, or is this just because it looks really cool? Both answers are considered acceptable. Slowly coming together. Sadly, the plan for the rampage didn't work out. A strong arm slide will be used instead as the battery compartment. Back of the blaster will have a red voltmeter. Cool. Did some sanding on the putty. Our pieces ready for paint. Okay, battery tray. Cool. Gosh, that does fit in there really nice. Nice work. Everybody all getting all blended in there. Okay, Alexander. Well, yes, but actually no. Yes, I've seen that movie. They make multiple kinds of putty and tools. Spanish, as I recall. Interesting. Huh. Wizard builds mostly because it looks cool. That is the best answer. And watchers at home, if I need to pick up the pace or slow down a little bit, let me know. I am just kind of out here rolling along, and so if I need to be redirected, let me know. Where's 15? There we go. Pause exercise due to work, but I'm not able to complete the progress. That's fine. I appreciate the update. Day 7, change of plans, sorta. You know what? It happens to the best of us. Things that make you go, why can't I make big? There we go. Okay, so I believe this is, are we being teased here? I'm not opposed to it. Interesting. And that's about all we got for updates there. But good to have an update. It means you're still kicking. I appreciate that. Mr. Peep. Ah, yes. Let's jump back. February 25, March 1. I think we touched on that. Unfortunately, no progress at the moment. To have the rest of the putty sanded. Hoping to have a base coat before the end of the week. And next week. Excellent. We will be doing another stream next week. It's probably going to be more, since we're doing basically back-to-back, it's probably going to be more of a casual neighborhood-type stream. Not sure what we're going to talk about yet. It really depends on what kind of shape Caster's in and what we end up talking about and what kind of cool developments there is in the community and other topics that might come up. And so we'll kind of play that by ear. Mystic 1. March 1, depending on this. Okay, this is all we got yesterday. These parts were needed for progression. Okay, we got some internals. Nice. Dual stage flywheel of the world. Nice. Very worthy components of this build, I would say. Good choice. I think one of these is the way. There again, more good use of Maverick slide parts. Oh, hey, oh man, I don't know. I was really liking the Recon magwell, but there's something about having the little dip down here and the little, obviously this is upside down, a little dip down here behind with this kind of jagged angle and the little slot things. Oh man, oh, you kind of got me there. Or, is that the same? I think that's that Maverick slide thing changed. Goes down, goes down. That's pretty good. Man, this is a tricky build, man. Every time you post an update, it's like, oh, that can't get any better. Oh, that is perfect. And then you add more weird little things that are just like, no, now it's perfect. That is just right where it's at. Very good, very nice. Man. I mean, I don't know, less is more, but more is pretty darn okay too when it's, you know, looking like this. So, And that was updated this morning. That's good. That's good. Nice little pistol. I'm sure I say it every time we do one of these update things. I was really questioning myself on pushing the build box and forcing everybody to go small, but I'm just seeing so much creativity crammed in such a small space that it's like all condensed and I don't know. It's just kind of cool. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, and Gale Wolf with the update on and there we go. I think we between a trip to Chicago, monster hunting, I believe we touched on this last time. Add more side plates, fire shot cover, portion of the Recon, still need to fit inside how it'll cover. Feels like a good starting point on that. Hollowing out shell. It's going to be a fun build. You know, so many very mechanical shapes on everything. I mean, they're blasters after all. It's cool to see a bunch of organic shapes all integrated together. This is kind of a fun build to follow. Finally got to dedicate a good chunk of time today. Got side plates for the mag area of the Recon roughed out. I'll need to do a bit more later once everything else is dev-conned in place. Hot glued for an idea of how it'll look. Other pieces roughed out to be finalized later. Not pictured, also testing Gorilla Glue's methyl methacrylate because DevCon's getting harder to find. Boy, I can tell you, yep. And I can get the stuff at work. Nice. Also wanted to see if the scale textured bits in the back are something that MMC will bond to. We'll update on that soon. Okay, got that little dude down there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, little scaly guys. Weird plastic does not bond with plastic welder. Yeah, kind of thought that might be the case. Hoped otherwise. I always hope otherwise. Go back at plan. Not exactly working on the project, prepping and testing stuff for the future. Got a 3D pen after Mystic One talked about it on the server. Hadn't gotten around to messing with it, but decided what to do about the weird plastic. Tried it for both gap filling and bonding pieces. Great for gap filling. I'm sure I could use a wood burning kit or something to smooth it out more before sanding, but even using it as a backing to epoxy sculpt will work good as well. It's fine for bonding, but still plan to use MMC, so it's MMA, or a combination of the two. Also printed out the half-tart Flywheel of the World kit. Caster the Wizard provided. Thanks, Ken. Still have more cuts to make it fit, but just eyeballing things, half-tart mags will fit the aesthetics a little better. Get the grip filled in there. And a little gluing. And guts. Thrifting Find gave me some inspiration on how to replace the weird plastic piece. Codebreaker crossbow has a detail similar enough, and it makes for a fine replacement. A bit overcut, trying to get it to fit another way, but that's nothing, so epoxy sculpt won't fit. That doesn't look nice. Little swooshy bit there. It is a remarkably similar angle. Big progress. Finished fitting the internals. Required an amount of sanding on the flywheel cage to get it right, but we got there. Use a 3D pen to start filling some spots. Started DevCon pieces into place. Thing in front. Last thing for the night was messing with the dragon scale pattern piece on top because the Ember Strike was cut down. The piece will need to be cut down too, but also adjusted to look like it should be that way. Fair. It's going to be a bit more challenging than a lot of other bits because I want the scales to line up. Ooh, gosh, yeah, that working within a existing texture does make it tricky. But made steps towards that by cutting out a chunk from the center with an X-Acto knife to keep as much plastic to work with on both ends that will be used. Next, we'll be cutting the front and back down so the front barely hangs off the front, if at all, and the back part keeps the screw hole. Okay, there's that. Yeah, just right in there. And filling stuff. Oh, hey, that's nice to be able to go through this shell to tie, not only filling in a gap, but also helping to tie the two shell bits together. Oh, that's a nice little side benefit. Cool. Another day of progress. Most of the progress on the main body was applying DevCon, though I will need another tube or two to finish that off. Only thing picture-worthy is the trigger area being cut to actually be usable finally. Got around to fitting the microshot to be the barrel attachment. Had to make a few awkward cuts to get the barrel to fit in, get the attachment lug to fit, but nothing some bodywork can't fix once the epoxy sculpt comes in. Dragon face, barrel lug. And yeah, getting that area cleaned out. It was kind of dropping down here before. But yeah, just making all the room and getting everybody to fit together and jive a little bit more. Excellent. Looking good. And this was Drunkle Zappy. Quite a bit of progress in the last little bit. That's nice. Oh gosh. Well, oh, that was 2.9. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. We did cover it a couple times. 3.13. There we go. Okay. We had the shape kind of roughed out before. Strife, Chronos grip, Big Shock hanging out underneath. There again, I believe I spoke to the irony of the Big Shock barrel shooting out of the Chronos barrel, but then the Big Shock body covering up the Strife part with the Strifes shooting through the Big Shock, but the Big Shock's shooting through something else. There's probably some kind of Inception joke there. Somebody's probably got a joke about that. We're not going to get into that. But a little bit more body parts there. Looks like modulus stock, right? I'm trying to remember where that came from. Looks familiar though. Well, it looks kind of nice. That little tucked in detail kind of wraps around there almost. Blends into the blaster that I can't identify at the moment. Nope, don't want to do that. Oh, wait. Angled rail thing. Crap, what was that? I remember that part. Ooh, voltmeter. Hey, that actually fits on there really nice. That's going to be a good size. There we are. Voltmeter. I gotta jump up for a minute. What is the? Did he say what that? Oh, that was something to add later. Okay. The dark. What was the dark thing that the rail is attached to? Green slide from Busby Blaster. Adventure Force Accelerator. There we go. Adventure Force Accelerator. That was the. That's right. The rival. The would-be rival Adventure Force thing. I really wish those had, I wish those weren't as junk as they were, because it's sure a solid idea, the kind of little mini hoppers they had on those. It's a pity that kind of fell through. Blending. A little more blending, getting those shapes to work together. Impressive. This is the Chronos bit up here, and this is that modulus stock, but still going. That must be a pretty consistent angle, from where it goes from the kind of vertical plane to where it breaks and kind of cuts under. Huh, that's kind of a cool little detail there. And putty. Oh, it looks like we're opening up this area here for easier jam access. Not sure if there's going to be more things at play or if it's just a ease of operation, but something to look forward to. And this was, 3 days ago? So it's pretty fresh progress on that. Okay, and back to, here we are. This is going to be a quick story. This is Twisted Mod Works, again, the first build. Started on the 13th, ended on the 20th, so yeah, that was a quick week. All right, so you got a CETA. In fact, that was the early CETA, as I recall. A air tank, Chronos, Strife, Retaliator, Slide, Knockout, a couple of barrel guys. Lots of potential there. Okay, Blaster pull apart, Blade 180 motors. Gosh, does anybody remember those? Blaster of mine, cutting jigs printed ready to go. So we got pile o parts. Some old blades. Nice. That's cool. the Hawkeye strife cutting jig to make your strife not quite as strifey anymore, but a whole lot cooler. Get that in place. Things cut. Things are small now. Grip's gone. Pro center stock cutted and added. Nice way to kind of round that off. Another picture. Another angle. And got the knockout grip there. Kind of a chunky guy. Chronos grip, a little sweepier looking. Getting things all lined up nice using the little rivalry rail, whatever they called it, on the top of Chronos there to fill in the gap. Actually, the Chronos grip really does a good job filling that space in. Well, then tag will box it in. So that's just the mini strife cuts. Come back. Got the new mag well in there and the little adapter guy, or the mag release adapter thing. C to donate its top rail. Switch locations are finalized to the handle. It looks like we've decided on is that a quick 16 grip, or is that the, crap, what's it called? Speedload 6. One or the other. Anyway, old dart tag grip, which are notoriously comfortable. And looks like some dart tag parts there, probably from that same blaster, to kind of help round out the front. And switches in there all ready to go. Changed the nose area as it wasn't working well. Added a motor cover. Nose glued in, JB Wilden. There we are, green stuff epoxy putty, and that was what I was citing earlier. Voltmeter locations cut out, push button added into the jam door. Here we can more clearly see the cedar rail, which is just a nice convenient way to add Picatinny with being able to use DevCon and mold it in real nice. And here you can better see using the back end of the knockout there as kind of a round off the front / foregrippy place to put your hand when you're bored. Here we are about a week later or so, and already doing the spot putty game. Sanded down areas, been found, filled again. Battery door will be smooth. Motor cover's been covered in smooth. Everybody's smoothing out. Looking good, looking good. And looks like we're getting right close to paint there. Oh, got a correction from Twisted Mod Works. It wasn't either the Speedload 6 nor the Quick 16. It was the single shot one, the one that I can never remember what it's called, but gosh, it's got some beautiful shell parts on it. In fact, I'm leaning back and around the monitors, and I'm looking at the hammer shot that I modified with the Ravonics grip and the exterior shell of that whatever single shot dart tag pistol. It looks really nice. Didn't always fire too well, but man, it sure looked nice. Fun to cut up. Okay, sanding to 400 grit. Wet sand, 2 grand. 2,000 grit paper, getting all the imperfections out. Now we're creeping up on paint. More paint. Scrap evidence, nice. First half primed and painted. Logos printed and applied. A mist of green to give a speckled look and a gloss coat. Ah. Paint and smoothing are done. Final look until the internals get in here. So all final paint and polish. Endeavor. Green voltmeter. Let's place LEDs running in the wrong area. Right, internals are done. Here's a good look. Very nice. Firing demo on Instagram, can't post it here. Glamour shots. And we'll see how this goes. That's a pretty positive thumbs up. Pictures. Some of those guys. And that, as they say, is that. So about, what would we say, those a week? No, 13th to the 20th. Yeah, about a week. Pretty good, and almost done with his second build now. Gee whiz. All right, and I believe we covered this one already. Didn't we? Maybe we just saw the paint. Oh yeah, that's two. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that sounds better. But jumping back a month really throws me off on the date. So these are just the final glamour shots for it, showing you just how danged compact that thing is. A little custom jam door. Sneaky bee car. Nice. And Scarlet Havoc, 20 days. Did we see this last time? Quick updates. Got fitted. Starting to push America. Also been dragged into computer server project for roommate. Short vacation, I believe. Yes, I believe we saw that update last time. So, nothing to report yet, and that, I believe, catches us up there. So, on to the last, final, and largest of the builds. Start here, the Terra Scout Hypnos by Grim Reaper 2548. 131, what is the 3, 17, 19, 20? No updates as of late. I appreciate everybody popping in and letting me know that there's not an update while technically updating. It does help me kind of keep straight of what we've seen and what we haven't. Lost all the motivation to continue onwards in the build. Might finish in the time for the competition, but doubt I will. That's a pity. See you guys next year in the competition, and may the best build win. Well, shoot. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I totally understand losing motivation on a build. Sometimes an idea grabs you, but it doesn't carry you all the way across the finish line. But I really do like that one. Well, I hope you get more motivation, but I am not going to push it on you. But it's always nice to see you updating anything. So we'll jump over onto, this is a Blaster Show, and yeah, so a couple of video updates. These are really, really well edited, just really good videos. I really have been enjoying his little, more of a build-along time-lapse, whatever you call it, working really fast but not really saying anything because there's just music there. But really good information. Like, I wish, like, I don't know, I watch his little build videos here, and I wish that I could condense that much information into that little time of all of, like, the mod-along videos that I made. Because you can see the build process in his head as he's going along. You can see him test fitting parts and getting kind of an idea of the, I guess the monologue in his head of, oh, this fits here, well, this is going to need to get cut, and a ton of unspoken information, which is great, and I highly recommend. I believe they've got, yep, there you go. YouTube and Instagram up there on the top. Also, links right here for the videos. Go check them out. Highly recommended. Now, I really like this here. Because this is one of the things I don't like about the crossbolt. I like the parts of the crossbolt thumb hole thing, but it's always way too short, and if you extend it, you end up with this kind of awkward little pointy thing in a weird little spot here, and he solved that problem by using an unidentifiable part of what I assume is off of the Desolator, just given the texture and the material. But this isn't that. No. Something else. Anyway, using a nice cool rounded detail here to fill in the gap that we had up here. Using that to kind of round out, but also helps transition the shapes here to the shapes here by using a little piece of something more akin to this aesthetic detail to kind of soften the transition a little bit, but then also, yeah, using something here to transition from this to this that'll blend easier into that part as well. So a very, very cool tactic here in just using a couple small parts to blend. Instead of going from this part to this part, you take two avenues to blend the two components together. So really, really cool, and just very clever. Well, it looks like all the updates there. Jump over to Captain Shotgun. And I believe it's been mostly sanding since last time. Since last time we spoke would have been 2, so we got guts. I believe this was the last thing we covered, and so we got last little bit of putty into primer, and oh, so much sanding. And there again, stack of build videos if you want more in-depth information on each of these little steps. More sanding, more putty, more sanding, more putting, more sanding, more putting. Sandy putting, sanding putty. I think I've spoken about this a few times as well. Hello. Is that a dog? Hi, dogs. Yeah. No, I'm streaming. Oh, I'll probably come in when I'm ready for dinner. Thanks for saying hi, though. Bye. All right. Sorry about that. Dogs and wife came in to say hi. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, talking about last time, several times probably, just talking about the Straven, a new take on a Straven, which I always welcome. Just changing the shape from the, I guess, the typical layout of parts and things, going to a half magwell and double flywheel cage just changes the proportions enough. Also, something as subtle as adding this Vilemod's Raven battery extender thing. It shakes up the lines just enough that kind of distracts from what you're actually looking at. And so at a first glance, you don't go, like you show me a picture of a Straven and I go, that's a Straven, yawn. But here, mixing things up a little bit, it's like, oh, hey, I didn't recognize that as a Straven right away. And it's refreshing that even one of the oldest tricks in the book, integration-wise, can still be made fresh. Hey guys, if you're going to be barking at stuff, you can't come and hang out. Hi. More putty, more sanding. Hello. And final, more spot putty, gonna sand more. Oh dang, shotgun. You're late, but kind of just in time. So we showed your pictures, talked about all the putty and sanding, and rolling into Builder BB, who I believe this is all we had. We spoke, actually we talked about I believe we talked about the nice Christmassy plate and the X-Shot Fury X. But received the Zombie Strike Crossfire with bow arm. Crossfire, getting somewhere on the build this week. Set with the crossbow, adds bits to the Fury. Stock is cut using part of the pistol grip to reinforce the connection. Plans to stiff it up with aluminum U-channel and flat stock inside. Excellent. Crossbow front grip's been grafted into the Fury's prime slide, wanting to use the Fate Silly Shell front mod as an over-the-top master key. Oh! Crossbow body panels are too thin to easily cover, so perhaps you can use the Maverick rail to spread the sides around the Fate. Interesting ideas. So we got box O potential here. This is the part of the grip, which I believe that's the part that goes into the stock. Yeah, basically using this little part of the grip to blend into the part of the stock to extend the back of the Fury X. Some sneaky cuts there with one of those nice little razor saws. That's cool. That's really cool. That is the foregrip of the crossbow upside down, which probably makes for a really comfortable and effective priming grip for that weird little top slide thing. I'm really looking forward to how this thing shapes up, just because it is such a radical difference between the very mid-90s crossbow and the mid-2020s Fury Axe. Just a very interesting juxtaposition of just that. I like it. I like it, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. And no other details. I don't know. Is that a scary thing? How come that's not a picture? What's going on here? No, that's the same thing. Okay, it's just that in file form. Okay, that was almost scary. All right. So we got Uncle Clowny and his build, and we're back. Did we cover that part? No, we covered that. Pretty sure we covered that. Maybe it was that. Anyway, we'll start here. It was 3. I thought it was the second last time, so we'll cover this guy. But I believe last time he was very much questioning whether or not to proceed, but says, well, I decided to move forward, which is always a great answer. He even ran a shunt into the barrel to reduce the diameter, still doesn't have enough air volume to overcome the dead space, so performance is less than glamorous. On the upside, found a way to cover some space on the blaster. Little skull man. Putty and sand, putty and sand, putty and sand. That's it's really going around right now. Place together the cap that goes on the handle. That is cool. That is a little detail from the side of the sledge fire, using as a little cap on the end of the grip. That's cool. That's yeah, that's a super cool idea. Either late, don't know when to go to bed, don't have any fast putty left, epoxy sculpt. But using the part of the body of the sledge fire, the part with the little hash marky things, using that to kind of tie the muzzle areas together, that's cool. Did some putty work, didn't like epoxy sculpt, didn't like the sand, piece of Picatinny. Well, now we're getting interesting. That is that part of the? Almost looks like an Alpha Trooper slide there on top of the Baron grip, priming grip anyway. Then a little muzzle guy there. That almost looks kind of Alpha Trooper-ish as well. The very muzzly bit on the end. So it's got some cool shapes to it. Then we've got some Nerf rail up there as well. Never liked the open side of the plastic. Looks cheap. Yes, and it is cheap. That probably gives it a lot more solid feel too in the hand once you're grabbing hold of that. And excuse me, dogs, your nose is very wet. And I thought putty work. Ooh, doing a little filigree type fancy engraving stuff. That's actually some pretty good freehand engraving. And also very on brand. That's a very clowny thing to do. I hope we get to see that all over the blaster. Oh, interesting question. I am recording with this mic plugged directly into the streaming software instead of going through Discord, which has like a lot of noise detection and stuff that helps the recording process. Am I getting a lot more background noise than I usually am? Like, were you hearing the whining dogs next to me and stuff like that? Okay, and next, what else we got? 30 days, got Lightning Eagle. Going back in time to 383. There we go. Got the, this was the, oh crap, what's the thing called? That guy, double crusher. There we are. Double crusher AR assembly, stuck to where the elite little triad of shots was here. Mostly thinking out loud so I can reference it later. Can't drill on the whole plunger head stop, which means the whole thing has to be moved up a bit. Won't fit as nicely into the shell. Might try drilling a hole. Confirm this because fair. Did a whole bunch of shell cutting to move the MXL Smart AR back into the plunger tube to cut out a whole lot of dead space. Excellent. I'm really not sure how I'm going to make this airtight now. Well, we'll see how it goes. But we can kind of see what's going on. This is the little redirector valve thing that goes from the Mega to what is the Mega XL. Bunch of reinforcement parts for the not double strike, double shot. No, dual strike. Gosh, it's always a strike something. Reinforcement parts, you can put a Mondo spring. And modify the back of the handle so we can get the spring on and off, and I believe, yeah, put a bolt through later. Something that's a little easier to grab anyway. So not a whole lot of progress visually, but definitely a lot more structure added and some efficiencies added to help things be when we move forward. All right, and here we got. Go back to Crow. Been a while since an update happened. This was on the 6th. Life's been busy. That happens. Digging through bins of scrap, found a couple pieces. Just gap fill. Might have gone a bit heavy on the DevCon. That's fine. DevCon likes it. Little extension there to help the Baron fit in there. That actually is a good length. Where that all fits in. Nice. Deploy handle. Little stock extension there to. Or no, this is off the turbine, I believe. So yeah, adding a little extension there and making the two tie together. Hopefully, ought to be a bit more of a practical length on the stock. Nope. Oh, we got a video. There is some more background noise. Okay, is it terrible amounts of background noise, Wizard builds? And also, are you guys able to hear any of the audio in these videos when we do the video thing?
2.5 bottles of DevCon. Still need some more right there. But the hiccup seems to be stable. I need to get out of here before these things make me see Elvis. Both sides are DevCon. Holes have been pre-drilled in the Phoenix. I have to drill another hole right there, so that way I can screw the damn thing back together. Okay, let's get out of here for this minute.
All right, still making progress. Well, of course, that was on the 7th. No updates since then. And what else we got? The Megalodon Rifleification Project. I believe we had this. Yep, I don't think we've seen anything since here. So we mostly have just these pieces more fitted together. They were just kind of roughed in and laid over each other. Now we're really getting them to getting them trimmed and tucked in next to each other. That's just a good look. That is a good look. There's a lot of nice kind of sweeping lines there, and I never really cared much for the Ultra aesthetic, but it's really working here, and for whatever reason, it's really jiving with the Mega. I mean, there's not much left of the Mega aesthetic, but it does look nice. So really hoping this project gets finished for sure. Okay, and move on to Bloodin, which was, there we are. Using leftover pieces to extend the dart pusher, hot glued for the moment, probably drill it into the original pusher, insert a metal rod and epoxy it all together. So, extension, I believe this is for half lengths. Or something, or no, we got bigger things going on here. That's right. But not a whole lot of that. So not a ton of progress yet, but we still have over a month left. So I'm really hoping a lot of these come to fruition. I believe this, did we get anybody here? I think this is the stuff that came in right while we were talking last time. So I think I've seen, we might have seen this one. And I believe other than that, yep, I think we're all caught up there. So we are officially caught up. So I know this has been a lot less fun and cool of a stream this go around, but is there any questions? I mean, like I said, we are almost 2/3 of the way through, a little bit more than 1 month left before the end of the competition. Do we have any questions of any kind from anybody? They can be MERGEMASTERS related, they can be Nerf related, they can be, you know, questions for me or anything like that. Questions for, oh, hi, Krager Dog. Do you have any questions for the Krager Dog? I think you got fed. You definitely got fed today. Thanks for asking, though. Wizard builds. I think my build is too big for a compact. Can I move up a class? You certainly can. I believe what you'll basically have to do is copy and paste everything over to the new class. You know, open up a new forum post, copy and paste everything over, and then delete your old one. You can do that, although we would encourage you to, you know, see what you can fudge a little bit in your design to stay in the class that you're in, but that's only because that's for selfish reasons, because we want to see people put in uncomfortable spots where they have to be a little bit more creative and clever on how they build. But if that does not match the goal you want for your build, then yes, it is okay to move up a class or down a class or whatever you think best suits your class. And I guess if there's not a whole lot else going on at the moment with chat-wise, and if everybody's pretty happy with what's going on and how things went, I can guarantee things will be better next. Well, gosh, I can't guarantee. I'm really going to hope things are better next week. We should have Caster back and have a whole lot more technology and a whole lot fewer issues, and it should be a much more enjoyable and multi-dimensional or whatever stream for sure. And we'll kind of see how things go. But I really appreciate everybody showing up. I apologize for our delay last week. We talked about, you know, doing just like a little quick thing on a Friday or something, but I know we have other people in the community that like to stream on Fridays and Saturdays, and so I didn't really want to risk horning in on somebody else's show and causing problems there as far as just, you know, trying to split audiences and stuff, because that's not really fair to anybody else either. Not that we're not that we're a really big pull for audience within the community, but no, I wanted to stay on track, but this was kind of an unforeseen thing that Caster had to bail for, and, you know, make a trip to another kingdom and you know, save some people there and all that. So hoping everything else goes a little bit more routinely through the next month or so, and Thanks again to everybody for showing up and hanging out for just a little bit, and we'll see you next time.